Wait.
What's up, everybody?
Stock market, baby.
What's up?
Just messing with you, man. Hey, Emeka, what's been your message to the team this week, man? If you were up there preaching, so to speak.
I think, after obviously the game that we had down in Eugene, it was easy for a lot of people on the team to get down. But being that it's a 12-team playoff and it's a long season, and the top two teams in the Big Ten go to the Big Ten championship. So obviously it sucks to drop one like that on the road. Big game, top 5 matchup, but we have bigger goals than just winning a game on the road. We have goals for the entire season. So our plan is to make a huge run. We have games that we have to take care of coming up, and hopefully we're able to see them again.
Is that when reality hits you that this is a 12-team playoff now instead of, you know what I mean, that almost everybody's made a mistake so far this year? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely different, and just going through the ebbs and flows of change is something that we have to be accustomed to. But we're ready to combat every adversity that comes our way.
Emeka, you guys called the first off week an improvement week. What did this one feel like?
We were able to kind of get our feet under us. I would say that it definitely sucked after a loss going into a bye week like that. You feel like you could have done more in the weeks leading up to maybe get a win down in Eugene, but we were able to kind of get away from the game, which is what you need sometimes, and come back even stronger. We just had a great 2 days of practice. Got to put another one in tomorrow and be ready for Nebraska at noon.
I think Will was saying that he was almost happy that if you were to lose a game, it happened now versus end of the season. When you lose, nothing gets swept underneath the rug. You have to evaluate everything. Would you kind of agree with that? Like, what was your way to kind of spin it and try to say, hey, we can build off of this instead of
Yeah,
down?
Absolutely. I think you look over the course of college football history, and there's been very few undefeated teams throughout the entire season. So I think losing is something that sucks, especially as high-level competitors like us. But I think kind of will hit it right on the nose. You have to see the impurities of your team and be able to push those out and grind, because Coach Day says it like this. He says the issues are always there. They're just brought to the surface sometimes in hard moments. So if we would have got a win down there by 3 touchdowns, we might not have nitpicked as much of the things that we're doing now. So.
What was the biggest takeaway from the Oregon loss for you guys on offense? When you look back and you looked and you watched, what was the biggest takeaway on where you guys have to improve fast?
I think we just, we got to play smart and we got to take care of the ball. I think in matchup games like that, when you're facing a top 5 team, turnovers are, some of the most important things. And they ended up getting more than us that day. We got to run the ball better. We got to block better on the perimeter. We got to make those plays when our number's called.
Emeka, the 2014 title team's going to get honored Saturday. That was 10 years ago. Do you have any memories of watching them as a kid at all?
Yeah, I definitely do. I was being from the West Coast, being from Washington, I was a big Oregon fan, especially when they had that run with like Mariota and all those guys. So the Buckeyes were definitely a team that was always on my radar. Just watching them growing up, I was never really a fan of Ohio State, but I definitely remember those days with Zeke Elliott and all that.
When they beat Oregon, what do you remember about the game?
I honestly don't remember too much about the game, but I just, we watch a lot of their film now. Like a lot of clips come up because you don't get a team that special, every year. So we're always watching clips about them. Zeke Elliott was a guy who was a big-time leader and a big-time player on our team, but he was also, running down on kickoff and blocking his tail off. So just having that mindset and taking it in for every player.
Is that Coach Day showing it to the whole team? Or?
Yeah, Coach Day showing it to the whole team, special teams meetings, all that type of stuff.
Like the DBs really hadn't been beaten downfield this season until the Oregon game. What have you seen from their response maybe this week in practice?
I think, there's 2 different responses that you can get. You can get down in the dumps or you can use it as motivation. And I've definitely seen the second with our DBs. They kind of took it personally, and they're looking to do some amazing things down this last back half of the season.
And Denzel specifically is a really confident guy. We see that when we talk to him. How has he responded from having maybe one of his more tough games in his career?
Yeah, Denzel, he just had a great week of practice. He just got the, after every practice, we lay down a brick because of that day of work that we put in, and Denzel was the one who was able to lay that brick today. He had a great week of practice, just being able to bounce back. And I know his confidence level in himself and our confidence level in him is through the roof. So he's going to go out there and ball Saturday.
Mac, when you win, there's outside noise. When you lose, there's a different kind of outside noise. How do you just block all that out and kind of help your guys block it out too?
Yeah, I think that's something that you have to, learn in your experience here at Ohio State. I think for freshmen, it's definitely a learning curve. Me being here and being a senior, I try to give my advice on those topics. I think that kind of like you're saying, the noise comes from both sides, positive and negative. I think both of them are dangerous. You can get too down in the dumps, but I think positive affirmation is maybe even more dangerous in some senses. So I think just blocking out all noise and kind of keeping it within the people of this building is really what's going to take us to the next level.
I know it was in a loss, but what impressed you about how Will responded on the road and handled that?
Yeah, I think he played a great game. He was able to kind of get the offense settled in, and obviously it was a very loud environment, probably louder than we anticipated. So, but I think our confidence in Will is extremely high, and he shows why he's a top caliber quarterback, and his seniority really shined through in that game.
You had 10 catches on 10 targets. So what about the chemistry between the two of you is clicking right now?
I think just that trust level. We do it every day out here in practice. We just had a great day today, and he's finding me on the field. I'm getting open for him. So I think having that trust in one another helps us on Saturdays.
That's one for me. You mentioned about how the DBs have they've responded the right way to the struggles against Oregon. How do they show that in practice?
Yeah, I think that just their demeanor coming out to practice, in the sense being very intentional about the things that they do, the way that they practice, getting better with each and every snap. Because even if our DBs would have went out there in Oregon and had held all the receivers to 0 yards, they would still have that same demeanor coming into practice every single day. So we have a lot of men in the DB room who don't really hang their hat on football. Obviously, we're all very passionate about the game, but they're very grounded in their faith, and they know that one game doesn't define them. So just having that confidence in themselves, and then we just try to make sure they know that we're confident in them as well.
Michael, what's impressed you about the way Jeremiah had a strong start to the season, and he's been really consistent for a freshman week in and week out. It wasn't just like a 1 or 2 week thing, but he's kept building on that. What's allowed him to do that? What's impressed you about his consistency?
I think just the way he practices. There's never a wasted rep with Jeremiah, so I think that everything that you see on Saturday is something he's already done in practice, and I think that's a key to being a great player here at Ohio State, and just in general being a great player, you have to have great practice habits. So that's something that he definitely has, and a lot of people have to learn that at a young age, but he kind of naturally came in with it. So I'm excited to see how his season continues.
People talked about Marvin's work ethic. How does his work ethic sort of compare?
Yeah, I'm not huge on comparing guys because they have their own identities, they have their own things. But Jeremiah certainly has amazing work ethic, and you're able to see the fruits of that on Saturdays.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
Best of luck. This is Clay. He's got one quick